Dearest gentle reader, welcome to Bridgerton Season 3, Episode 2, How Bright the Moon review. So, if you haven't listened to my previous review of Episode 1, please go ahead and start off with that. Or if you prefer, you can chill. Excuse me, sorry. You can chill here and just join the party wherever you want. So I'm just going to start off with the first scene where we have Queen Charlotte and Lady Danbury, aka Agatha, just looking at a collection of gifts that the Ton's mamas have sent Queen Charlotte, so as to kind of persuade her to choose one of their daughters as the season. And she's not impressed because she's just like, evidently diamonds aren't a rare because I have so many of these gifts. And then Lady Danbury is just like, listen, so are you going to choose a diamond this season? And she's like, no, I'm not going to choose any diamond. I'll take my time. I'm not going to rush into it. And then Lady Danbury is like, okay, are you doing so because of what Whistledown wrote, aka claiming that Queen Charlotte is afraid of actually choosing a diamond? And she's like, nope, I'm not scared. I just want to choose a diamond who does more. And which I think means like simply not just appearing to be beautiful, but has more quality, has more substance. So she's saying the diamond must do more for her favor, and that diamond also has to be someone who can secure the best match of the season. And Lady Whistledown, in her latest script or papers, wrote that fools rush to judge while the wise watch and wait. So I think here there's like double meanings, because here Queen Charlotte, it applies to her in two cases. So in one scenario, she was a fool where she chose the diamonds very quickly, and those diamonds had so much scandal attached to their love matches or their journey towards the love matches. And then it also applies to her in the second part where they say the wise watch and wait, because that's what she's doing now. So it was kind of like a dig at the Queen, because Whistledown goes on to discuss favorable matches among women of the Ton in the past who were overlooked. However, those women ended up securing very eligible has bachelors, and these bachelors were men of high rank and great and good title. So Lady Whistledown continues to write like that, which some dismiss as common rock, time reveals to be precious stone. And one of these common rocks she's referring to ends up being the Mondrich family. And in last video's review, I didn't know what the son's title was. So I found out today that he is the new Baron of Kent. So Penelope, in the other scene, she's just getting dressed, and you can see that she is in her glow up era, and she actually got validated by Varley. And that's the first time I can say that I can see within that Featherington household, Penelope has actually gotten validated and acknowledged. And yeah, so then we move on to the Mondrich family. They pull up to the Kent estate, and it's huge. It's so different from their lifestyle, and they're being shown around like the manor or whatever the name of the estate is. And they have so much more. Like they have now leveled up in their class, like physically, not just in a title way. And Will and Alice, during the house tour, they learn that they have two different bedrooms, and they're like, we have two different rooms. And the housekeeper is like, yes, that's how things are done. So you can see there's even a shift in relationship lifestyle, if that makes sense. It's not just about how you behave in the society, like in the public, but also how you behave privately. Your lifestyle changes, and they're not happy about that. Um, then Lady Whistledown writes, at other times, what appeared to be priceless under pressure shatters like glass. And she's alluding to her mother, Lady Featherington, because she is like panicking about her, her daughter's not giving her an heir, and and her possibly being, her whole family being displaced and thrown out of society because of course the esquire is onto her, and he threatened her. There was a veiled threat he gave her last time that if an heir isn't produced, you're out. And what she's freaking out about is that the fact that not only will she be kicked out, or will her wealth be transferred, but it will be transferred possibly to a person lower in rank because of what has been reported about Lady Kent giving her money and her wealth and her estate to the Mondriches, who are considered lower in rank and of a lower wealth status. So Varley is just assuring her, and she's telling her, listen, one of your daughters will make good, so just relax, don't worry about it. What I like about these two women is that they scheme. And what and it's not particularly like the scheming that I like. I like the fact that they decide not to be victims of their own circumstances. They try as much as they possibly can within their positions as women in a society where women aren't empowered to make the best out of their situations. They just don't sit by and make life happen for them. Let life happen to them. They try and make life work out for them. So, and shout out to Varley. She's the real MVP. And here we just see the Featherington sisters just being completely clueless and playing childish games with their husbands of like eating fruit. It's supposed to be romantic, I know, but it was cringy to me. It wasn't romantic. So we see the Bridgertons going on a promenade. We see particularly Colin, Eloise, and Benedict. And they're just having like this jesty banter between them, amongst them as siblings, where they're poking fun at Eloise for kind of being half in, half out as she's coming out to society. So we can see it's a slow process for her. She just hasn't gone in headfirst and completely embraced this new lifestyle. It's a gradual thing that she's uncomfortable with, but then she's doing her best to get in. And one thing that I didn't really realize is how Benedict himself also doesn't like the idea of conventional marriage, because it's not just Colin who seems to be the eligible bachelor. Like in a low-key way, Benedict is as well. So while they're on their promenade, Penelope also gets her first lesson from Colin in attracting a husband. And he's just like, yeah, all you need to do is kind of like, flutter your eyes and like, like wave your fan around. And, men are simple, so it shouldn't be too hard. So she goes in taking his advice and bombs completely. She makes a fool of herself, and the people are like, yo, you're kind of overdoing it. Are you good? And she knows she's bombed when she goes home, but that just shows like how difficult it is for some people. Not all women are the same across the board. Like just because you're a woman and this is things women do, these are things women do, doesn't mean to every woman it'll be applicable or easy. Then in the Bridgerton household, we see Violet and Lady Danbury discussing viable prospects for Francesca over tea, and they're trying to match her with like bachelors who they think will be compatible to her because of their musical inclinations, or being patrons of music or patrons of the arts. And Francesca shows her willingness to, you know, to entertain the possibilities of a match with one of these bachelors. Um, then we see at the Featherington household, Portia, who is the lady Featherington, she's kind of like trying to like poke around and ask the girls like to know where they're at in terms of their progress in making an heir. And you can see like it's an uncomfortable conversation for everybody, particularly with her and Prudence. But like Philippa, on the other hand, just showcases how clueless she is, like generally. And she's just like talking about, yeah, you know, the business we've been engaged in is like looking at silk merchants, housekeepers, and the mom is just like, at first she was like, she thought that she was saying that they have been getting busy in these places of business, but like the daughter had not put two and two together. And like when the mother realizes that, she's just like, listen, what I'm talking about is not that. You people need to actually get busy. uh Babies just don't happen. You need to be intimate. And then so she starts grilling them about like, you know, how often they've done it. And then it's uncomfortable, but Prudence is like, okay, once on our wedding night. And then uh, Philippa is just like, "Ah, Albion and I are so passionate, you know." She's kind of laughing at her sister and everything. And the mom is just like, listen, she's pitting the two girls or trying to like foster some form of competitiveness between them. And she tells Prudence, listen, if you want to beat your sister, you better be um you have to be more frequent in your activities. And there's a full moon coming up, and a full moon is a harbinger, or a good harbinger for fertility, so get to it, you know. And the sisters kind of like eye each other and are like kind of like, game on. Then we move on to another uncomfortable scene where Colin has just finished having a menage a trois, and I'm not going to talk about that after that. So Colin and Penelope, they seem to be in a marketplace, and they're continuing like kind of like their lesson on attracting a potential husband. But then this one, it's not more practical, it's more like uh mental, where he's kind of telling her, he gives her the advice on being more comfortable and childlike, you know. And that will help her more in her pursuit rather than trying too hard. And when you're more childlike, that is something that is just innate in you. If you try too hard, you're just trying to appease society or something like that. And she's just like, yeah, but being out in society means that, you know, people are judging you, so you kind of have to follow the rules, something to that nature. And Colin gives her the advice, which I think should be on a t-shirt, and it says, living for the estimation of others is a trap. Once you break free, the whole world opens up. So then he asks her why she wants a husband, to which she responds that she wants one so that she can gain her own freedom and so that she can feel comfortable in the world. And then he asks her where she has felt this feeling of comfort, and she responds that she felt that way mostly at the Bridgerton house, but then for obvious reasons, she can't have that anymore. And then Colin fishes for the reason why Eloise and Penelope like broke up in their friendship. And you know, she can't answer that because she'd be outing herself as Lady Whistledown. And she can't reveal her identity, of course, to Colin, not only because she prefers her anonymity, but also because Colin dislikes Whistledown deeply. And that's it for part one of this series. I don't want it to be too long-winded, so I'll do it in parts. Hopefully that works out for everyone. Bye.